everybody. I'd like to welcome you to the return of Weapon H All-in-One Podcast. We will be back on Fridays now. I know you guys have been following us before. Um, the Mind, Body, and Laughter podcast is Wednesdays now. The Weapon H All-in-One Podcast is on Friday. And for our first episode, I have a very special guest today. So this lady here, she reached out to me. This was maybe it would be out a year ago. And she said, Herm, I got some news to tell you. And she told me that she ended up having cancer. So she said, I want to prepare for it. What can you do? So I said, listen, this is what we're going to do. We're going to build up the strength. We're going to get her strong and get her ready for the fight that was ahead because it was going to be up and down physically, mentally, the whole nine. But this woman here, not only did she get on there and get the radiation, get the chemo, the whole nine, she went through it strong, didn't lose one strand of hair. Matter of fact, it grew. She didn't lose weight. Mug coming up here, flexing, even when she had the low days, high days. She got through it all, flying colors, and ready to rock and roll. Amazing woman. And to introduce her a little bit, she works in ophthalmic research. I know some of you may not know what that is, but I'll give her a chance to explain what a little bit of that stuff is. And like me, I'm into a lot of the holistic, I'm into the consciousness, but she took it to another level. She's a mystic. She's working on being a yogi. Well, she's a yogi, but she's actually working on becoming a yoga teacher.
Yep.
She's a ceremonial magician, high priestess, alchemist, and newly herbalist, which is my favorite out of the group. You already know. To introduce you all to Olivia Feagin.
Hello. Where's the confetti?
Yeah, I should try to put that in there as some sound effects and mic effects later. You might have a point there. So to start off, just a quick little bit, what is ophthalmic research?
Ophthalmic research is research that's centered around eye health. The main focus is pretty much eye diseases along the lines of diabetic macular edema, macular degeneration, anything dealing with the eye, glaucoma, um, again, cataracts, the whole nine yards. There are pharmaceutical companies that create medicines for the treatment of the eyes. And so I've been in the industry now for probably 12 years. Basically, I worked at a clinical site conducting the research, and now I work for a CRO, which is kind of the middle person in between the clinical sites and the pharmaceutical companies. And it's my job to make sure that the studies are being run properly. Yep.
I kind of knew, but I just wanted to make sure you guys
I
got
know.
a understanding of what that is because it's not something that you hear every day. So again, this woman just continues to impress. So now we're gonna get into some of the nitty gritty because we have conversations all the time when I'm not kicking her behind, training her, and
My God.
we we have all kind of conversations about so many things, a whole variety of things. But one of the things that stood out and I wanted to bring to the audience is the 5 elements of self-mastery fulfillment. We are heavy into, we understand that the elements can dictate a lot of things about us. The stars, the planets, I mean, the whole nine. I'm going to dip into the elements right now. And I'm going to let you, well, we know it's water, air, fire, earth, and ether, obviously, but I'm going to let you explain a little bit what that's all about.
Okay. So, as a ceremonial magician, um, let me just kind of touch base on what that is. So,
Absolutely.
a ceremonial magician is kind of like what you would consider one of the three wise men. They were mages. Okay. So, a ceremonial magician learns how to master the elements, almost like the avatar without it being a cartoon. There was actually a lot of truth to that. So, um, one of the first things we master as ceremonial magicians is the elements within ourselves. So, earth represents the physical body, it represents our finances, because these are things that we get and we obtain here on earth. Okay. It can also represent our physical state, our health, um, how grounded we are, at any given moment in situations, how connected we are to family, um, ancestors, right? So that's earth element. And then the air element, is it represents our minds, our intelligence, our intellect, the way we communicate with people, because the intellect is like a sword, and the sword cuts through the air. Um, and then fire represents the willpower. It's what gives us that get up and go, the ability to move, our passion. It's what drives us to do certain things. Um, it's it can be it can be beautiful or it can be destructive.
Yes. Yes, it can.
Right? Um, and then water represents our emotions. When you think of like when you're upset or when you're happy and you cry tears of joy or you cry because you're upset, water has many different states. We can have like the ocean, we can have a waterfall. And if you just kind of compare that to how you're feeling emotionally, um, you can kind of see the symbolism in that. And then as a ceremonial magician, we purify each of these elements one by one by purifying ourselves, which leads into the alchemy. Because that's the point of alchemy, right? To find the philosopher's stone. But
Mhm.
we know that the philosopher's stone, or, turning lead into gold, is not really, turning physical lead into gold. It's taking the physical body in every part of us and illuminating us and enlightening us.
Nice.
And then
Yep.
ether, or spirit,
Right.
is our connection to the divine.
Absolutely. And like you are touched on, each of those elements are beauty within itself, but they also have a side that can be destructive. It's like you see water,
Absolutely.
calming. It can take any form. It's like your body is mostly made up, but at the same time, you can have a tidal wave, crushing
Yes.
the earth, grounding. You getting energy, you getting healing, you getting all these things, but it can be an earthquake, air,
Yes.
you can have hurricanes. I mean, everything is beautiful and it has another side to it. So about balancing and actually
Yep.
keeping more on that positive side of it. So
Yep. The law of opposites and duality. You
right,
know, we have our positives and our negatives, and
absolutely
anything in excess is probably not a good thing.
right. And you tend to want to stay more on the positive side, and it's a fight because you're always going to have, like you said, it's duality. So if things are going good, you always have to watch something trying to pull you back. So that's when you learn how to, for me, meditate and keep the vibration level up, keep
Hmm.
your energy positive, and
Yep.
things tend to go a certain way more often than not.
That's right.
So I know you're also a firm believer in the astrological signs and alignments and how they play a major role in your
Ooh, that's
moods.
a big one. That's a
Oh
real
yeah,
big one.
so your
That's
energy.
a real big
I
one.
mean, that one. I know you could
Sounds
probably go on
different.
all day for that one, but that's why I kind of let me get that one in the middle so we can get this one. But yeah, we're gonna try to summarize it for you guys, but it's gonna be hard because each planet, each I mean, so many star systems, and it just even right here on Earth, the moon can change. I mean, our bodies are what 85% water, and then the moon,
Yep.
how it shifts tidal waves, it shifts the water. You think it's not affecting you, who's mostly
It affects
water?
all the
So
water. All the
that's
water.
right.
Not
So
just the water of the ocean, not just the water of the river. It affects all the water.
absolutely
Um, so if we are to talk about astrology, I have to be very clear in that I do not follow tropical astrology, which is kind of the mainstream astrology that was made 2,600 years ago.
right,
Um, and due to precession, the signs do not, the sun does not
right,
align into the
right,
signs the way, or the constellations, I should say, um, the same way that they did back then.
right.
I follow a Vedic astrology, and it is actually based on the placements of where the planets are. Like, you can physically look through a telescope and see that on this day, or you can even use a planetarium app and go, look back at the time that you were born, and you will see actually where the sun was, your Mars was, your Venus was.
Yeah.
And essentially, um, the way that astrology works is that um, when we incarnate into our mother's wombs, our souls down from source, come down from source, and as it comes down, it goes through certain constellations, right? And the sun, which also represents like Jesus, the Son of God,
Right. So
SON,
when yes,
which is
so when they should.
correlates to the SUN.
Yep.
Um, that placement has a lot to do with our egos.
Mm,
It's how we think, how we move, and then your moon sign. That's how you feel about things. That's how you handle your emotions.
and when
And then
people
your
don't, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
and then your rising sign, which is the sign that is rising to the east at the time of your birth, is it's like the face you put on. It's what people see when they talk to you.
Right.
And there's also the descending. And the descending is where you're coming from. It's where you were before. So when you look at your rising sign and your descending, your rising sign is what in your life path is who you should be, who you should aspire to be, and then your descending is who you shouldn't be. So just again, like duality, you have your shadow and you have yourself, your real self. Um and then of course there's like you have your Mars, your Mars placement, right? What constellation is your Mars in at birth, or your Venus? Your Venus is how you love. Your Mars is kind of like how you get business done. That's that more like dominant,
Yeah.
yeah, that dominant energy. Um, and Saturn is where you learn your lessons, because
Mm,
Saturn is the planet of time.
right.
Saturn has a lot to do with karma. So if you
Yes.
look at your birth chart and you see where your Saturn is placed, um, you'll learn why it is that you've learned that you've gone through the things that you've been through.
Uh-huh.
And the crazy thing is if you don't learn from it, you'll do it
Destined to
again.
repeat. You're destined to repeat.
You're
Absolutely.
destined to repeat it. And that's also kind of broken down on the houses, like how each house represents something.
Right.
And I don't know if we even have time to go into that. That would have to be like a whole nother podcast.
Right.
um, but just to say, like, if anyone ever wanted to look at what their actual Vedic astrology is, I know a lot of people aren't going to be happy because, someone may think that they're a Scorpio, but they're really a Libra. Or,
Mhm.
I always thought that I was a Virgo, but I'm actually a Leo. Um,
Right.
and then they might say, like, no, that doesn't sound right. I don't have those traits at all. But then when they look at their rising sign, it clicks.
Clicks. Yep. Right on the
It
money.
clicks. Like,
And it's
oh,
so,
that's what it is.
and it's so, and it's like so many people really tend to like look it off. Oh, that's not accurate. Neither one, whether it's either type of astrology, they just kind of look at it as, but then they always wonder why they keep doing these same things over and over and over again. Why do I feel a certain way on this day? Why? It's something to monitor if you can,
Mm-hmm.
because you start seeing why I do certain things at certain times of the day, certain times of the year, certain times of the month, and you
Oh, yeah.
start and you start reading, you start lining some of these things up, and then you're like, oh, it kind of makes sense now. But
I mean, even when you look
but
at, say, like, how a person, when you're preparing for your birthday, right?
mhm,
Like, let's just
right.
talk about that. Like, when you're preparing for your birthday, everybody always has goals they want to meet by their birthday, things
Hmm.
they want to do on their birthday. And it's so much deeper than it's a celebration. What it is you're coming back to yourself. You're coming back to yourself. And then it gets even deeper because, like, your whole body knows that it's happening. The cells in your body are aware of it. So you might have more energy going towards your birthday, going into your birthday month. Um, and then if you do, like, if they're called solar returns, a solar return, if you look at your birth chart and then you look at your solar return chart and you
Right.
see the differences between, you can, if you did that every single year, you would literally see how your life has been playing out in front of you.
And it's
And if
so
you do your
crazy when you
solar
go back and look
return,
at it too, and you start seeing that
yep,
not only that what you're keeping track of is lining up exactly with what the
yes,
stars is telling you,
that's right.
more often than not, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. Well, I know, like I said, we could probably get into that and go all day and all, but that was a
Oh, yeah.
great summarization of what it is. And hopefully you guys will take from that and start to research that a little bit and just at least feed your curiosity a little bit. Check it out, see what it's about. And, like anything, if you like it, you keep on. If you don't, you don't. And it may
Right.
hit you at a later time. Sometimes people don't grab things at a certain time. It may take
Mm-hmm.
them later, like, oh, you know what? I remember seeing that. Or I remember hearing that. Let me go check it out now. So
Yep.
give it a little shot, check it out, and then, you go from there. You form your opinions after that. As long as you come in with an open
Cafe
mind.
astrology.
Oh,
Cafe
yeah.
astrology. Cafe astrology. I don't know. iPhone's doing weird things.
Yeah, I
Cafe
see.
astrology is a oh, it's because of my hands. I have to,
Okay.
like, go back up. Cafe astrology is another excellent source. It's a free source, and you can even do the different. You can do a tropical astrology or it's called sidereal.
Right.
Um, or if you're super country like me, you'll say side reel. That's what I thought it was when I first read it.
You don't
But
even
that's
count no more as country. Cut it out. You done been around different states and different countries so much, it's gone. It's gone. Just like they
when I
tell me about my Jersey and New York, it's gone, bro. It's not there anymore. You've been too many places. Nope, out of there. We'll try to throw it in here and there just to kind of make ourselves feel better, I guess, but nah, it's out of there. So before we get out of here, though, I definitely want you to talk about being your new certification as being an herbalist. I am
Oh, yes,
Super,
yes, yes.
super
Yes.
heavy into that. So we know we got to touch on that because that's going to take some time.
Oh my goodness. Yes. So I am certified in plant-based medicines.
Mhm.
And the desire to do this came from, all plants have medicinal properties, even the poisonous ones, if used in the proper dose. And they also have spiritual properties. So I literally view plants as my allies. They are our allies
Absolutely.
in many different things. And I got my plant based medicine certification through Cornell University. And I learned a lot. I learned how to essentially heal
Heal yourself.
myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I heal other people as well.
Yep.
Um,
And listen, you know me already because I'm big in that because what one thing everyone fails to realize anyway, even the medications that you take in, the base is a plant. Every one of them. They don't just chemical do things. It's
no,
based in a plant, and then they may
yep.
alter it with chemicals, but
Right.
the base is a plant.
Right. Yep. In fact, the chemotherapy that I was on, it was Taxotere.
Mm.
Taxotere is made from the Pacific yew tree.
You hear
Um,
that, people?
Given in high doses, it is like a nuclear bomb going off in the body. Um, However, the people native to the area, they used Pacific yew for centuries to heal all sorts of ailments, but given in small doses. There's plants for your cardiovascular. There's plants for your hormones. There's plants for your brain, your skin. There's literally a plant that can take care of absolutely anything. But the problem is that the reason why people prefer Western medicine over plant medicine is because plants take a little bit longer to work and activate. You have to get them in your system for a little bit before they can actually start doing what they need to do. They have to build up to a certain level in your bloodstream. And so in Western medicine, which I am definitely a part of and hope to be getting out of that very soon, you have to take a quick fix right now. So instead of them saying, "Hey, let's heal your body naturally," they're like, "Nope, you got to take a pill. You have to take this medicine right now." And mind you, Western medicine has, I'm not knocking it. And certainly in some situations, you need the quick fix. But if you're a generally healthy person and you just want to maintain your level of health, you make sure you get the correct type of plant medicines. They have to be high level, high quality, organic. There's many different ways that you can take them. And as a herbalist, I know how to make tinctures, infusions, um, oxymels, multiple different things. I even make my own capsules because we know historically that taking a pill form of a supplement is not as beneficial as actually taking the plant. And one of the reasons why is because the supplement industry, which is not controlled by the FDA, they literally can put so many fillers into the capsule that they will have the minimal amount of the healing property, and then the rest of it is all like anti-caking agents or something like that. So you want to make your own capsules, and if you have to, you can buy the teas and get a herb grinder and grind them up and make your own capsules that way. um Make the teas. There's certain plants that I think everybody needs to have in their diets on a daily basis. Anyone that's older and like an adult.
Okay, but let's mention those. Mention a few of them.
Huh. Top of the list, turmeric.
Of
Number
course.
one thing, because of the curcumin.
Yeah.
Excellent anti-inflammatory. It works to cleanse the immune system. It helps with chronic pain.
Mm-hmm.
Another one is ginger root, and it has to be organic ginger root, not regular ginger root, because non-organic ginger root has been
Tainted.
in the ground full of pesticides, and
Yeah.
then when we take that and put it in ourselves, we are also ingesting the pesticides.
Yep.
So ginger root. Another one that's really good is ashwagandha.
Yes.
Ashwagandha is an amazing plant because it is an adaptogen, and I like to call them the Bob the Builders of the plant world, because they go into, when you put them in your body, they go and they find the places of stress that are in your body, and then they help to kind of rebuild and refortify those areas in the body, as well as, maintaining um, your stress level, your mental stress level. They're also good at that.
Nice.
Any females out there should be taking like maca root. I mean, there's
Oh
there's tons of
yes.
them.
Well, males take it too
Maca
because
root
I'm
is
a
great for women.
yeah, I take it
I,
too.
I'm
So
just gonna put that out there. Maca root.
yeah, you guys want to give macaroon to your women, yeah.
Yes, you do.
You gonna get it. You can take it, but make sure she get a little bit of it too.
Yep.
So yeah,
Yep.
so
The guys might want to take Tongat Ali.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
Tongat Ali is good for increasing testosterone naturally instead of going to get a testosterone shot,
right.
a
You get it
synthetic.
right there, natural.
Just
And I'm a
just help your body make it. Just tell, you're literally telling your body,
that's what the
make
plants
me
are
more
doing.
testosterone.
That's what the plants do. It actually teaches your body or helps your body to produce its own
Yep.
antigens. Yeah. So I mean, it's yeah, the plant world, that whole herbalist thing is amazing to me. You know, I love that. So make sure these are your fours, guys. So you make sure for just that you should always have in your home, and of course you're gonna have other stuff, but these are the four. And to go back a little bit to what you touched on with the FDA, it's like it's almost like it's a double-edged sword with that one
Yep.
because at one point people paid FDA to shift things through, but then you
Hmm.
have so many others that are getting stuff through. So it's really hard. You got to just kind of do your research, do your work, and kind of just
Yes.
read labels. You heard me 1,000 times. You heard me, audience. You guys have heard me 1,000 times. Read labels. Read everything that you are using. So,
PubMed. PubMed is an
okay.
excellent place to go. Type in the name of the medicine that you're on, or
Okay.
type in the name of the plant that you want to look up, and you will find hundreds of journals, scholarly reviewed journals that you can gather the information from. Just be aware that there's always a disclosure at the bottom that says,
Absolutely.
oh, but more research needs to be
Be
done in
done.
these plants.
Because they have to cover
However,
themselves, whether it's
well,
working
and
or not. Yeah. Because
plus
there's a
the
lot of people that's
pharmaceutical
going to come out.
companies,
They're going to come
they're
after
not
them.
going to pay anyone to do research on a plant, because
Nope.
literally anybody can buy a plant.
Yep.
You can buy
Yep.
a plant, you can grow a plant.
No money
No,
involved.
but
There's
these are
nothing.
medicines that have been used for centuries.
Yep.
For
And
centuries.
they've been working for centuries.
They've been working
So
for centuries. Yes.
it's all a matter of them trying to figure out the way where they can get their money. Because I mean,
Oh
everything. I
yeah.
mean, 'cause every medicine they
Trust
have,
me,
they
I
give you.
know.
It's a lot of side effects for everything. It's like
And
watch
the
a
side
commercial.
effects.
Watch a commercial. You see something and you say, okay, it fixes this, but they run down about 20 side effects in like 10 seconds. Like
Yep.
that guy from the FedEx commercial back in the day speaking super fast. I mean, it's unbelievable,
And
but
the reason of the side effects is because it's a quick medicine.
mhm,
It's a quick medicine, so the
it's
body
good.
doesn't have time to adjust to it. But that's why plant medicines are so much easier on the body, because it takes longer to get into the system and the body has time to adjust.
Naturally, we are a society of quick fixes for everything, quick meals.
Quick. Everything.
Quick, I want to lose weight in 10 days and I gained 10 years to gain this weight. I want to lose it in 10 days. I mean,
Right.
we're
Right.
quick fixes for everything. So it's no surprise
Hmm.
that they're able to push these things on us because we don't like to take the time. We have no patience.
Right. Right. They
So,
bank on that, in fact.
oh, absolutely. They know they're gonna get their money. Put a few commercials out there and it's like, okay, it's drilling in your head. And why I feel like I want Wendy's right now. I wonder why I feel like I want to take this medicine that I have no illness for. So, it's just there. They got little songs what you sing around. Oh, Ozempic. You like,
Oh
I'm
man,
not
it's so
not
it's I
diabetic.
know jingles,
I'm
the
not, yeah, I'm
jingles.
not diabetic, but why am I saying that? And the next thing you know, you're trying it. I mean, you got to be careful with this stuff. So, but again, I'd like to thank you for coming through. Oh man, this was great. I love it. I love it. I love it. So, guys, I'd like to thank you guys for joining in on Weapon H All to One podcast. We thank our guest, Olivia Ray.
That's right.
So, you guys keep tuning in, keep commenting, ask questions. I'm going to put those, I'm going to go back in and I'm going to put up those websites that she mentioned during the podcast. So you guys can go and look at those things and we'll see you next time on the next
Next time.
episode. Thanks again. Thank you,
Thanks.
Olivia.
Of course. Peace.
Peace.